Good evening. A 4-year-old boy is critically ill after falling from an upper-storey window in Aberdeen. He's been airlifted to hospital in Glasgow. Stephen Duff reports.
It was just after 5 o'clock last night when police and ambulance were called here to Invercald Road in the Masrick area of Aberdeen. A 4-year-old boy had fallen from a window in a communal hallway. He was initially taken to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary but later transferred to the Royal Children's Hospital in Glasgow. His condition there is described as critical but stable, and his family are with him in hospital. Aberdeen City Council, who own this block of flats, says its thoughts are with the boy and his family, and Police Scotland says it's liaising with the local authority. Stephen Duff reporting Scotland, Aberdeen.
A male teenager has been arrested in connection with a sexual assault in Bannockburn, which was reported to police on Thursday. This is following a report from a 13-year-old schoolgirl who said she was assaulted in Ladywell Park a week ago. Police say the male initially described in the media appeal has been eliminated from the investigation. Their inquiries are ongoing. Police in Germany have been criticised over their investigation into the disappearance of a Scot in the country. 29-year-old Liam Colgan went missing during a stag do in Hamburg a week ago. Andrew Black has more.
Liam Colgan from Inverness hasn't been seen since the early hours of last Saturday. He was on his brother's stag weekend when he became separated from the group. A week on, friends and family involved in the search have grown critical of the investigation by local police.
We found out that there have been several sightings of Liam that we feel that we're behind the curve on. Some of these things could perhaps have been followed up more quickly. There were sightings on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday.
But Liam's friends aren't giving up hope.
Any number of things are possible. He may have hit his head. He may be wandering around the streets without food for days, which can really, it can play, your tricks can play your mind can play tricks on you in that sort of scenario. So we think he's still out there, and we're going to do all we can to get him back.
The BBC's been attempting to contact police in Hamburg for details about the nature of their investigation into Liam's disappearance. Meanwhile, the search goes on. Andrew Black, reporting Scotland.
At the Winter Olympics in South Korea, Scotland's Elise Christie has crashed out of a second race. It's another bitter disappointment for the speed skater from Livingston, though she still hopes to race again for her first Olympic medal next week. Alistair Lamont reports from the Games.
Just when you thought no more could go wrong for Elise Christie, it's another crash, and this time a penalty in the semi-final of the 1500 metres. Just as in Sochi 4 years ago, things seem to be going from bad to worse.
2 laps to go. Christie and Troy neck and neck in second place. Christie just a little bit patient there. She doesn't want to crash into Zhu, and now the race is on.
It began to unravel for her here as in desperation she tried to overtake on the final bend as she sought a place in the final. But down she went, out of the race, out of medal contention, and in a bad way. As British disappointment turned to concern, she received medical attention before being lifted onto a stretcher and taken to hospital for further assessment. Her participation in the 1,000 metres on Thursday at this stage looked in some doubt.
It's incredible how somebody can have so much bad luck, but it's happened. The team will get around her. You know, fingers crossed for that she can get back on the ice again before this Games is finished.
The Olympics haven't been kind to Elise Christie, and Pyeongchang 2018 is becoming ever more reminiscent of Sochi 2014. There she had 3 disqualifications. Here it was supposed to be about righting those wrongs. Instead, for Elise Christie, it's simply been a case of compounding the misery. Alistair Lamont reporting Scotland at the Winter Olympics in South Korea.
Football now, and in the Premiership, Hearts drew in Dingwall against the bottom side Ross County. The home side fell behind to Kyle Lafferty's free kick from outside the area. But in the second half they equalised when Jason Naismith scored his second goal of the season. And in other results, Hibs beat second-placed Aberdeen. There were also away wins for Kilmarnock at Motherwell and Dundee at Partick Thistle. And now with a look at the weather for Scotland and the rest of the UK, here's Christopher.
Suzanne, thank you. Hello there. Well, it was a fairly pleasant day for most of us. Some spells of sunshine. Lovely photo from one of our weather watchers there taken earlier. But tonight, with those clear skies holding on across parts of the north and northeast, it will be cold and frosty. Elsewhere, a little more cloud around. Let's take a look at the temperatures there. You can see the darker blues across parts of Highland Perthshire in towards Aberdeenshire and the far north, meaning it well below freezing overnight, and a cold, frosty start to the day tomorrow. Some mist and fog across parts of the southern uplands and through the central lowlands. That will slowly lift. For most of us, it's a dry, bright morning, but the cloud you can see building across western parts. This is round about early afternoon, with cloud and patchy rain in towards Northern Ireland, western Scotland, and in towards the west coast of Wales as well. The further east that you are, holding on to the dry, brighter weather, and certainly parts of the eastern borders, East Lothian up through Fife, Angus and Aberdeenshire, some sunshine here, but further west, cloudy with some patchy rain at times, 7-8 Celsius. Still bright and sunny, probably up towards Inverness and the far north and the Northern Isles too, so a decent afternoon for you, but elsewhere if it starts sunny, it will go cloudy. The rest of the afternoon into the evening, that system working its way right across the country, and it's a warm front. You can see it on the pressure chart there. And that means come Monday, we're behind it, we're in warm sector conditions, so it's going to be pretty cloudy, quite grey, drizzly at times, a bit murky in places actually, but it will be mild, so temperatures by mid-afternoon up to around 10 or 11 Celsius, but pretty grey across the board. That's the forecast for now.
And that's all from Reporting Scotland. There's more news, sport and weather from us tomorrow at 6:20. But just to let you know, I think we got one of the scores wrong there. Dundee won 2-1 at Partick. Good night.